I love you. Welcome back to the Couch Potatoes. You're greeted beautifully by my dog with her squeaky toy. She's so excited to have you here. There's plenty of room on the couch next to her if she's willing to share it. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Welcome back to Green and Faceless on the Couch, a podcast about movies and TV. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, it's also the Potato Pick. It is a monthly episode, special episode that we do for our lovely patrons who participate at patreon.com/greenandfaces. Can you say that correctly for me?
Patreon.com/green and faceless.
Thank you.
No, it is also the first fresh episode of the year. We had a refresh recap of last year to start this new year.
Yeah.
Last week. Hopefully you caught that. If you were interested in hearing our thoughts on the best of 2023's pickings,
surprises in there because my list honestly is pretty fucking trimmed down to the actual things that I watched that were from last year.
Yeah, your list was a lot of stuff that I hadn't either. A lot of things I had heard you talk about, but a lot of when it came to the movies, there was a lot of stuff I hadn't heard or haven't watched. Right. A couple TV shows too. I was just like, ooh. And if you want to know what those were, check the fucking episode out. All you gotta do is look us up wherever you caught this episode. But do that after we talk about what we're talking about today, because you're definitely gonna want to hear what our patron gave us today.
You're gonna
it is our top patron Delma yet again got the victory. If you're tired of hearing Delma winning all this time, just head to patreon.com like we said, challenge her. She's on a high horse here. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, she's on a high horse. She's victorious.
On a high horse? I don't know. I feel like there's some kind of condemnation attached to that.
That's fair. That's
phrase.
Fair. She's not gloating.
She's on top of the hill. She's on top of the hill. She's winning. She is the queen of said hill. And
queen of the couch.
You want to kick her off?
Yeah.
Just let us know.
But maybe you don't want to kick her off because she's starting to torture us a little bit, as we're going to talk about today.
Well, we're talking about dogs today, and I think we talked about dogs. I feel like we talk a lot about dogs a lot here recently, and that's all right.
Yeah, I feel like we have. Yeah, it is okay.
I do like dogs.
We talked about pigs once.
We did talk about pigs, but that was a bit back.
Yeah. Sheep herding pigs.
Sheep herding, one particular, played by several.
And Gordy.
Yeah, we didn't watch that though.
We didn't talk Gordy. She wanted us to watch that, I think, too. I think it was supposed to be Babe 2, and Gordy, and it was like,
no.
Why
you
Gordy
told me you told me it was Babe and Gordy, and you're like, no, it was Babe 2 and Gordy. And
and no babe or something like that. Yeah, that was it. Oh my god, she's torturing us now, though. She really is. She's reaching back to a childhood, not so classic, but it was there in the childhood.
It was a classic. Don't stop.
It was there. It was there in the childhood. It wasn't that classic. I remember we watched it. My brother and the family definitely watched it.
It's still going. It's still going. Is it? How can you say it's not a classic? It's still going. Let's see.
It does have a franchise. That is true. And it launched the career of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He had a less than 3-second performance in this movie, and it was phenomenal.
I don't even remember.
And nor should you. He was a boy. I found this out after the fact because I saw he was listed in the Wikipedia casting as, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as one of Ted's schoolmates. And I was like, what in the fuck? And I looked into it. He's literally just a boy wearing a green jacket standing at the bus stop while Ted is hiding. You don't even see his face, I don't think. He's just like, his back is to the camera. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's is, that is. Like, he's not there. But he's listed in the casting credits here. He was that important.
All right, well,
ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Did
you find how many
he's in one of these later
launched?
movies, though. It's very possible. It does not look like they have done any too recently, but the franchise did extend into 2014.
Jesus Christ!
When they did
8 movies,
Beethoven's Treasure Tale.
Hell yeah! That sounds fascinating. There's also a TV show. My goodness,
there is a TV show. That's pretty funny.
This is a dumb man.
So there are 8 films, right?
8 sad films.
There are 8 playlist. Sad films, and I'm gonna say right here, right now, if you go down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless for a limited time, we will let you pick a playlist that we do. And you can make us watch the 8 films that are in this franchise if you wish.
We can make that a certain tier, maybe? Or just in general? What do we get?
Just in general. For a limited time. For a limited time. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. More details to come.
This is the first time that the Green Traveler has heard about this, so we'll see.
I'm interested, though. Don't get me wrong. But with this first one, we have John Hughes writing Beethoven. I never knew it was John Hughes because he went by a pseudonym. He went by the name Edmond Dantes.
Oh.
Do you recognize the name Edmond Dantes?
It reminds me of something.
The Three Musketeers. It is the name of Dante's character in D'Artagnan. Wait, one of the... It's one of the Three Musketeers things. It's,
Is he one of the Three Musketeers?
Hold on, I'm looking into it.
Things we thought we knew.
I got the wrong... I have the right author. I have the wrong story. It's the Count of Monte Cristo. It's the Count of Monte Cristo. Yes. I've read a lot of Dumas. He is very fascinating, but at the same time, I am almost bored by older English prose, but I really try. I really do try. I'm very bored, though.
Yeah.
It's sad. I'm sorry.
Hey, maybe you would have liked the original French better.
Maybe. But John Hughes is so embarrassed by his script that he went through a pseudonym. I don't know if that was the real reason, honestly. It's just he did not add his name to it. He wrote it under a pseudonym. Who knows why? Well, maybe there's an explanation. I did not research it because I didn't fucking care. It's not that bad though, honestly. It's not that bad.
It's not.
It's about 2 people, Stanley Tucci and Oliver Platt.
The Tooch.
The Tooch, man. I didn't even realize it was him until I rewatched it. So funny.
God,
he plays Vernon, and Oliver Platt plays Harvey. They're 2 criminals who break into a pet store to steal pets for somebody. And in the process... What was that?
I love them together. I
do. Yeah,
I would love to see them do something together now. That would be lovely.
Yeah, the main reason I got tripped up is Oliver Platt is in the Three Musketeers movie. He plays one of the Three Musketeers.
Yes.
And I always make the joke because he looks like one of our patrons, Gage. Gage, in my opinion, and Oliver Platt are very similar looking.
Like him, but not that much.
Not that much. There's some photos though, and one of them is a Three Musketeer production photo. Yeah, I'll show it to you sometime. It's where he has a beard, and if Gage were to grow a beard, it's a match. I'm telling you. But anyways, they're criminals. Harvey and Vernon, Platt and Tooch, and the Tooch, and they break into this pet store to steal pets for a doctor. You'll find that out later. I'll go into it more later. But in the process, Saint Bernard gets free.
Yes,
he runs away along with another dog.
Trash.
What was the other dog?
I don't know that we. I think it ends up being Sparky at the end, but that's at the very end of the movie that it gets called that.
But what is that kind of dog?
I don't know. It's some kind of terrier, I think. I don't know.
I get you're right. It don't matter.
I want to say Jack Russell Terrier, but the face looks too thin for me. I don't know. I don't know all the
everybody's gonna attack us in the comments or kind of call us.
But you know
dog
what? Dog
idiots.
Breeds. They're whoever bred them are the idiots. So they're. Oh, excuse me. There you go.
Amen. You're right. But Beethoven, unnamed at this moment, Saint Bernard puppy, he meanders around until he finds his way into the home of the Newtons. That's their name, the Newtons. Classic American family. You have to wonder why George and Alice Newton got together. At all, because George is a complete asshole.
He had to be more interesting in college.
So, I will say something that made this character make so much more sense to me.
Yeah,
and it was originally supposed to be Steve Martin.
Oh yeah,
Steve, and the character made so much more sense.
Yeah.
Steve, because it's like there's so much anger in George. His world is turned upside down when Beethoven enters his life because he doesn't want a dog. He describes him and his family as goldfish people. They are the type of family that have goldfish. They don't have puppies and animals that can destroy the house and make messes and bark all fucking night, and you have to walk them all the damn day. And that's what he's really worried about is the kids really want this new dog that wandered in off the street, but he's worried because he knows he's going to have to take care of the damn thing because they're not going to do the fucking job.
But he's so it's just that he's so anal retentive. Like he likes his life going a certain way, and I don't mind Charles Gordon in the role, but I think it's probably because I am very familiar with the second movie, which he is also the father in, same family, and everything. It's not for the entire series. It's not the same family for the entire series.
I don't remember ever watching beyond this first one.
I only watched the first two, as far as I know. As soon as I knew that they changed the family, I was like, no. Why would you do that?
Not interested.
But he's a lot nicer in the second movie, to be frank. In this movie, he is a pretty grouchy guy and kind of reminds me of a character in the next movie, a little bit. But he actually has a heart.
This character does. George does. Character in the next movie does not.
No, he's the worst.
All he has is a penis, which is very well established.
Well, yes. Okay, George finally agrees to let them keep the dog because he can't break his kids' hearts. Let's talk about the kids real quick. We got Rice, Ted, and is it Emily, the youngest?
Emily, yeah. Played by Nicole Tom, Christopher Castile, and Sarah Rose Carr, respectively.
Thank you.
Now let's focus specifically on the name Rice.
Yeah.
RYCE, Rice.
Yeah.
If you're gonna name your kid after a grain, you're a dick. You're an instant dick. That's an awful name, Rice. I hate it.
I don't know.
I hate it.
I'm not a fan either, but I'm guessing that there's precedent somewhere for this name.
Whenever you're naming your kid, like whenever.
It seems more like a boy name to me, though. And, it doesn't matter. We're in the 21st century. It doesn't matter.
It can be, it can be either or. Whatever. It don't matter to me. But my issue is, like, you have to think of all the situations your kid's going to have to be in. And one specific scenario that's going to come up for every single kid is getting their name called in class.
Yeah.
Now, with this name, you're looking at RYCE. Mm-hmm. Every single teacher is either going to go Reese or Rice. You're setting your kid up for 10 to 12 plus years of having to correct people on how their fucking name is pronounced. That is so true, goddamn annoying.
But at least they didn't name her Figgy. That would be pretty bad.
Figgy Noon would have been phenomenal. That would have been A+ tier naming right there.
And honestly, okay, you know where I thought you were going with it though? I thought you were going to say
Big Trisha.
Think about when she gets married and takes her husband's name. She could end up being Rice Pudding.
No, I was being serious, but like at the same time, you're totally correct.
Yes.
Like she could be any awful name that she could find. There's some. Whew. It could be bad, man. Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies.
But no, the kids, they fall in love with the dog. They also do not take care of the dog that well. It does kind of fall into George's domain,
it does,
which is kind of hilarious.
But to be honest, Beethoven kind of takes care of himself.
He becomes a big boy, which, St. Bernards do.
There is nothing that he wants to do that he can't, because he'll figure out how to do it. He's got a hole in the bottom of his kennel, just right in the back, right where nobody can see it. And every morning after George locks him up, Beethoven crawls out of the hole and he just goes through the town and he eats all fucking day. And there's even a fucking montage of them bringing in Imes from outside, like just one bag bigger, each of the kids. Until he brings in like one that's like the size of 3 bodies. Is fucking intense.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. This dog eats nonstop. But and during that montage, he also feeds Sparky. Beethoven does. He specifically goes out and grabs food for Sparky so Sparky can eat. Like, so he's taking care of even other dogs, other strays, if you will.
Yeah, and they don't drink trash water.
They do not drink the trash water, no. Or piss on each other. Oh, boy. But the problem is, George still doesn't like this dog, even though his kids are loving it. But the dog is doing so many amazing things. It helps the older daughter, Rice, talk to a boy she has a crush on. It helps Ted fight his bullies. It scares his bullies off, so Ted feels like, he's big and tough.
Yeah.
And it saves little...
in front of them.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. He pulls a Peter Parker where he's like, I'm so fucking big. Yeah. Ooh. And then it saves Emily from being drowned. Emily falls in a pool and almost drowns, and Beethoven saves her. It even saves George from making a very bad business deal.
That's right.
David Duchovny and was it Patricia Heaton as Bree? Yeah, Bree Wilson.
Yeah, it was Patricia.
David Duchovny as Brad and Patricia as Bree. Yeah, they're these awful rich individuals who come in and try
Everybody loves Raymond. That's what it was.
Yes. Oh my God, you're right. She's the mom. Oh, I didn't even realize that. I knew it. I knew I recognized that name. But no, David Duchovny, classic 90s asshole. He does a great job here.
Yes.
As being this skeevy rich guy who's coming in trying to swipe George's car air freshener business. George has a great business that produces air fresheners.
He does, but it's small. It's a small business, and he wants to branch out. And Alice is like, I don't know. Did we mention that Bonnie Hunt plays Alice? Everybody's
No,
mom.
we didn't. We're awful at this.
It's between her and Gina Davis, I feel like, for Everybody's Mom. I guess Sally Field has got to be put in there, but now it's Everybody's grandma.
Yeah, right. There is a huge age difference.
Aunt May.
Right. There is a huge age difference, though, between Bonnie Hunt and Charles Grodin, which is a little weird, like, because it's kind of felt like, I don't know, he definitely looks way older than she does in this.
Really?
Which isn't bad. Like, I guess I thought so. Like, but like, I guess it wouldn't be too bad, even if it was Steve Martin.
Right.
Like, he obviously like always looks older than he is.
Oh,
but,
for some reason I thought you were talking about David and Patricia, but you're talking about Charles and Bonnie.
No, I even said their names.
You did. But, there was a hair on my keyboard and I had to deal with that.
It just had to be getting rid of it. Oh, I understand. I understand that completely. But no, like, George eventually decides that his dog has to be, Beethoven has to be taken to the vet. This shit has to be corralled. He's gotta get this under control.
Yeah, I thought it was just to update the shots, actually. I thought it was...
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he had any real intention besides that, he should have his shots updated. And
right,
the vet is just...
I was just trying to roll it back.
I know, but I'm just trying to help us not be criticized. Anyhow, Dr. Varnick, Dean Jones, is he is also a very unethical scientist man in the background, and he likes to test chemicals on puppies, and also he's been tasked by somebody to test an ammunitions company to test a new hollow point bullet, and they have specifically requested that it be tested in some big dogs like Saint Bernards, Great Danes, and the like, and specifically said Saint Bernards. So he is on the lookout at his clinic for these big dogs, and he tells the Newtons, well, specifically George in private, hey, there's a big problem with these dogs. Like, it's part of their breeding. They'll just snap. And once they do, they don't turn back. Man. They don't turn back.
They might seem like the beautiful, most calm creature imaginable.
Yeah.
But they'll go crazy.
He said, I've had to put down 6 of these animals in many months or something like that. And, So, he's a real sleazeball. And
you even find out that he is the guy who hired Harvey and Vernon at the beginning.
Yes, that is right.
And he does so again.
Like a bad guy in Smoke and Mirrors in the beginning of that.
There's a lot of fog, like a fog machine behind him and everything. It's good stuff. It's very classic 90s, like, villain stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Especially like kid movie villains, for sure.
Yeah. But he gives them just a warning at first, but then later on in the movie, he comes over to the house to do a follow-up check. Mm-hmm. And while he's there, he pours blood on himself, while he's alone with Beethoven, that is.
Right.
He pours blood on himself and then punches Beethoven.
Yeah.
So that Beethoven instinctively, protects himself to attack.
Right.
And so, this leaves George to believe that Beethoven's finally snapped. He's gone crazy.
Yeah.
Just like the doctor said he would. And the doctor also tells him that, law requires Beethoven be put down.
Yep.
And that leads to a crazy third act,
which will
leave for you.
That's right. So, closing statements. I think the movie, it holds up as a kid movie pretty well. It's got that nostalgic 90s feel, and I give it a full face. I don't know if there's much more to say about it. I think that if we were to do a playlist of this in the future, that the second movie, God. I do think that I would like the second movie more, and I'm not sure if it will be purely by nostalgia or not. It's been a long time since I watched it. But we've watched that movie a lot in my household for some reason.
See, it's very possible we did too. And, like, maybe if we were to watch it, I'd be like, oh my God, like, it would awaken memories. But I remember this one. There's a lot of this one that I remembered. And I agree with you. It held up. Yeah. I was hesitant at first. I was not looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. I don't like these types of movies. I don't like movies that are so easily established to pull heartstrings without doing anything at all except showing a dog.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, there's so much you can do there that, like, it could affect me.
All right, but listen.
Thankfully,
the dog fed the other dog.
The dog fed the other dog. Like, the way this movie pulls the heartstrings is in a good way.
Okay.
There's no violence. Well, there is violence. I did mention that he punched Beethoven. That is true, but that's about the extent of dog violence in this, is that, right. And you don't even see that on camera.
He's a pretty big dog. I think
he is a pretty big dog.
Or two walks. Don't walk.
But no, I think it. But no, I think it held up. I think it's fine. It was funny. Obviously, it's not the best John Hughes movie. I don't understand why he went by a pseudonym. I'm maybe I'll look into it, but like. I don't know. It's not that bad of a movie. I don't think he would have done it out of embarrassment. Maybe it was just to...
You know what might have happened? Maybe this other credit here, Amy Holden Jones, maybe they were in charge of writing this script, and the producers decided they didn't like it and wanted John Hughes to do something with it, and he didn't want to stamp his name all over her story or something like that.
That's honestly, like, maybe he didn't want to overshadow somebody else's story.
Yeah.
But, like, and it is funny. There are moments where I laughed. I think it definitely would have worked better if it was Steve Martin instead of Charles Grodin, which, no offense to that guy, he does a great job, but
he does a great job, but I could see how this script would work really well with that later Steve Martin, which I guess is like the 90s era Steve Martin.
Yeah. Classic. Like, during his prime, like, it would definitely have worked, but no, I give it 2.5 stars. I think it's a fine family film. It's funny. But nothing special,
So, yeah. What
nothing like
how many
this
stars
next movie.
Did you give it? How many stars?
2.5.
2.5? That's not bad. Right down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's fine.
We are going to take a soda pop break. And that'll be good.
And then we're going to come back with something special.
Something special. Indeed.
Something special. Something very special.
We'll be right back.
Oh, God. I love you.
Wow. Will Ferrell.
Here we are. Will Forte, too.
Yeah.
All the Wills.
Okay. So, brand new movie. Last year, I guess.
Us.
But this is our first full episode this year. It's Strays. Written by... directed by Josh Greenbaum, rather. Written by... Dan Perrault?
Perrault?
Will
I don't know them that much.
Plays a dog. Most people play a dog in this.
I will say, before we dive too in, I will say, when I saw this movie was coming out last year, I said to myself I was going to avoid it in the theaters. I was like, nope, not going to see this. It looks stupid. And I saw the producers, and two of the producers were Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. And they are respectable. They did the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, the Lego Movie. Okay. Like, they have a good production, under their belt.
Yeah.
And also they have more creative control over the movies that I just mentioned. But they at least produced this, so I thought maybe it's not going to be that bad. So my mom recommended it. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's seen this movie. I think she just saw that it was recent and was like, "This will be funny." And we got to watch it together. You and I did. We were like, we're going to have a watch party. We're going to get together and watch this.
We did have a good time to give.
And we did have a good time. That is true. I'm just saying, before we started, I was looking forward to this. I had high hopes. It had Christopher Miller, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and when you and I were together with your wife, everything seemed like it was going to be a wonderful, lovely little time. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I remember. So, okay, just to say that we're in the pitch room for this movie, right? I come up to you and I say, we want to make a movie, a dog movie, where the dogs speak, and it's rated R.
That could work. I could, hold on a second. When you say
that's it. That's it. That's it.
They're not going to tell me anymore then, huh?
No.
And I'm, as the producer here in this pitch room, I'm a little worried. Because
you shouldn't be. It's a great idea.
It could be funny. It could be funny if it's just language humor, because the dogs are speaking, and that's what it is. But I'm a little worried.
It'll be everything you think it will be,
and that's not a good thing, because I'm thinking rated R with dogs, which means a lot of sex stuff.
There will be jokes. That, but not as much as you might think, but there will be that. Both of those things.
I'm canceling the movie.
Well,
that's how it should have gone.
We'll bring it to Warner Brothers. Who made this movie?
That's how this should have gone. It should have gotten shot down. It should have seriously gotten shot down. Because one, this kind of story's been done before. Homeward Bound. Any movie, cats versus dogs.
I mean, it is rated R, Homeward Bound.
Yeah, we get it. We fucking get it. You can make dogs look like they're talking. Haha, it's funny. And sometimes it can look good. Most times it doesn't. Most times it looks dumb as fuck. And here it really looks stupid. It looks like you're looking at a real dog, but it's got a fake mouth, and it's like the little robot mouse,
and it's not that well timed.
Oh my god, no! It's so stupid. I don't know. It was just dumb. Everything about this movie is dumb.
Here's my experience with it, though. We're sitting there, and I was not really looking forward to it because I'm not that into Will Ferrell's humor, and honestly, this wasn't that bad for the Will Ferrell.
Neither.
For the Will Ferrell factor, it wasn't that bad. There's
as long as you're not seeing him. No offense to him, but as long as you're not seeing him, he's not awful. He's still screaming a lot, and that's my
actor. I think he is a good voice actor, though.
Yeah, that's my problem with him, though. Is I can't stand his volume of comedy.
Yeah.
Because he's very much like that loud is funny.
And I
don't agree with that.
Yeah.
That's not funny to me.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of that in this. A lot of the jokes in this are more dog related.
Yeah. It's a lot of dog puns. It's a lot of dog perspective jokes. And so for that reason, it made me laugh quite often, actually. But
occasionally, yeah.
And we were both laughing at the beginning of it, and some of the jokes were stupid and still making me laugh. And then I look over at you and I say to you and Sarah, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far, but I just know that there's gonna be poop jokes. And I'm not looking forward to that. And most certainly there are some poop jokes. And that's
it 100% devolved into potty humor.
Oh.
And
just constantly.
It never got out of it for me. For me, it never climbed back out.
Well,
of that,
let's talk about
nastiness.
the story, though. Yeah, it didn't. No, definitely. Though that last scene with Will Forte, though, I did kind of enjoy that. Not.
I enjoyed it until it's a man getting his just desserts.
Yeah, until the poop part, I didn't like. I didn't like the poop part. That's bad.
That's fair. Yeah.
Anyhow, Reggie is a dog. He's a little scraggly dog, and
a border terrier.
He gets picked up by Doug and his lady friend, who I don't remember her name, and when they break up, because Doug's a bastard, he is like, I'm keeping the dog, and she's like, you don't even fucking like dogs. And it's true. He doesn't. He, in fact, hates Reggie. And
he really does.
Yeah. And he starts playing this game from Reggie's perspective. This game called Fetch and Fuck. And it's not bestiality.
Thank God.
Thank God. But Doug, played by Will Forte, drives him out far from their home, and then throws his tennis ball, and then drives back home, and Reggie finds his way home.
Yeah. And when Reggie gets home, Doug says, fuck.
Yeah.
And that's how Reggie knows he's won the game.
That's right. Yeah, because
that's the name, Fetch and Fuck.
Fetch and Fuck. One time, Doug drives him out for 3 hours and drops him off.
Oh, gosh.
And he's like, I don't know if he starts in the city or not, but he winds up in the city, and he meets this French bulldog. I'm pretty sure he's a French bulldog, but he's that kind of look. Bug, played by Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And they become best friends, and that's kind of what the story's about. And they form this little friendship group with Maggie, played by Isla Fisher. Is it Isla?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
And
who's
Randall Park,
Australian Shepherd.
Yes. Yeah. Or a really long-haired one. They called her an Australian Shepherd, but I don't think that's what Australian Shepherds look like. I thought it was a collie.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but that's kind of what because my dog is Australian Shepherd Husky.
Yeah.
And there are some similarities, but she definitely felt more, the Maggie character definitely looked more collie-ish.
Yeah. I think so too. But there was a joke about her, but she has an Australian accent. That's the joke.
Yeah, exactly. That's the low humor they have for this.
Yes,
it's like she's an Australian Shepherd because she speaks Australian.
Maybe I just don't know what.
Even though she only understands 32 human words, and yet they're all speaking in English telepathically.
They're barking at each other. They're barking at each other and using body language. It is just translated for us for the sake of the film.
And their mouths are moving for us.
That's right. Hunter is played by Randall Park, and he makes the last of the quartet, and he is this I think he's
the best character.
I think he's either some kind of hound or a Great Dane. If he's a Great Dane, doesn't have his ears cropped, and that's fine. They shouldn't do that. But he is also a service dog, a therapy dog for people in hospice care, I guess. And
he has anxiety.
He has anxiety and wears a cone because it makes him feel
it's adorable.
Yes.
Yeah. My dog went through that period in her life. She wore a cone for almost a year and a half.
Aww.
And then eventually I finally was able to wean her off of it, and it was wonderful. She's
good.
No longer scared.
That's good. She's a good dog, Zelda.
She is a good dog. She wasn't like that bad. She was able to be coneless at home. It was just that if I ever had to leave, I had to put her in a cone because she would just have anxiety attacks Finally, she's okay without me being around. It's great.
So these 4 dogs, they make both a pact and a pack.
Yes.
And
nice.
The pact...
Nicely done.
Yeah, thank you. The pact is to find Reggie's home and help him bite Doug's dick off because it's Doug's favorite thing.
Doug's favorite thing is his dick, and the 3 dogs, Bug, Maggie, and Hunter, help Reggie realize that Doug doesn't love him.
Mm-hmm.
They help Reggie realize that he's a stray. He is homeless, and he doesn't have an owner, and that's an okay thing. He doesn't have to be Doug's because Doug is not worthy of Reggie. Reggie is worthy of such a much better owner out there for Reggie.
Okay, yeah,
and it's a good odyssey that begins from there. Not really.
No.
But some of the things that odyssey include are they do get. I remember there's one scene where they get dog napped.
Yeah.
The dog catchers come and put them in a little doggy
the
prison.
State-funded dog nappers.
Yeah, exactly. And they're in the prison, and the keys are on the opposite side of a wall. And Hunter, the Great Dane, is a very well-endowed dog. Apparently, it's a very well-known thing. And there is a solid, what felt like 2 to 5 minute scene of them trying to get Hunter hard so that he could stretch his penis across the hallway.
And he's got a thing for Maggie, so Maggie starts dirty talking to him, and it's just so fucking weird. And his dog dick does keep on getting bigger, and then they show you the real perspective of the hallway.
Yeah.
And he's like
and that
5
got a
feet
laugh.
away.
I will admit.
Yeah,
that definitely got a laugh. Was where you see, the realistically sized dog penis versus the realistically sized human hallway. Nowhere near getting those keys. But at the same time, that's this film's kind of humor.
Yeah.
And that's one of the many steps on this odyssey. Oh god, that's next. That's in the that's in the same scene actually, because when that painting fails, what else do they do now? How do they get free?
Reggie has the idea that when they come, when there's plenty of poop in here, they come and they clean it. So he convinces...
because the dogs think that humans use poop to make chocolate.
I think they use poop to make chocolate, which the first time the joke was made, I thought, okay, yeah, why are they collecting
It makes sense.
poop?
It makes sense.
And, and according to this movie, dogs love to eat poop, too. So,
exactly.
So it just makes sense.
Yeah, of course humans would want it. Yeah. Why else, as you said, why else would they be collecting it? And where else would they be storing it?
Yeah.
Besides in the very abundant chocolate that is all around the world that they don't let dogs have.
It's the same color. Okay. Anyhow, what was I getting at? Oh, yeah, so that he convinces all the dogs in the pound that they should just shit. And they line up in uniform rows and take a shit and sit behind their shit. And the guard who is... Oh, shit. Oh, we gotta find him. It's a very short role, and it's an unfortunate role because he has to roll in shit.
Was it? Oh, it's Brett Gelman. It's the Stranger Things guy.
He comes and he's...
Willie.
He's got apparently something with his dad.
Oh god! I forgot about that.
All of his jokes were really funny, but didn't matter obviously to the plot.
He was painting a portrait of himself nude, and he's like, "Dad will really like this one," or something like that.
Like we said, there were some legitimate laughs.
It's so stupid,
It's
though.
so stupid. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I laughed, but I feel like a lot of my laughs were like more out of like embarrassment because I was watching it with you guys.
Why is this happening?
Where I was just like, oh, I wish they had made that joke. I would rather not have heard that in this scenario. I wouldn't have liked to hear it by myself either. But like,
oh man. Okay, so one thing that was worth watching, and I wish became an actual subplot, had to do with one dog named Gus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Gus is voiced by Josh Gad, who I know you are not a fan of, but you like Gus, so that's fine.
I don't hate Josh Gad. I hate
Olaf. Yeah. So,
I hate Olaf a lot.
Anyhow, Gus is a narrator dog. So apparently it's a common trait that dogs will just sit there and talk to themselves narrating what their masters are doing. And they're like, I'm pretty sure Jamie Foxx was like, fuck this guy, stupid narrator guy. Nobody's fucking listening to you
anyways.
and Gus is like, I guess the little bug dog was right. Nobody is listening to this, and nobody will ever know that my master is a serial killer. While his master is like, trying to be nice with this young lady. Oh man,
he flirt with the lady at a carnival or something. Yeah.
And I only spoil that. Like, it's the only thing like not worth spoiling. That I mean is worth keeping back. I mean, so since I don't recommend this movie, I wanted to tell you about it because it's hilarious.
Yeah, that was the one joke. I agree with you. I think that was the one joke that was good. That was the golden joke of the entire movie because it was so funny.
That would have been a hilarious story. Like if Gus just showed up,
brought that back.
Like if it was like a storyline, like if Gus would just be in the background trotting behind his master carrying a bag or something, just narrating, like that would be hilarious.
That's what a good screenwriter would have done.
Yeah,
and it's kind of funny that
hire me.
I already forgot his name. The last guy, John Hughes.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of funny that he chose not to put his name, like attach his name with that movie, and yet this guy did. Like, this is the kind of movie that you would be like, don't put my name on this one. Give me the money, but I don't want to be associated with this.
Yeah.
Like, because it's awful. Like the humor is so like we didn't even finish with Brett Gelman. He goes in to clean up the dog poop at the pound, and he like slips in the dog poop. He gets pushed into the dog poop. He gets covered in he just gets absolutely covered in dog poop.
Yeah,
and it's like a 5-minute scene of it, and
he chases them out. They all start escaping, and so he's chasing after them, and then he's in the lobby covered in shit. And it makes a mess.
And they use every sound effect you can imagine.
Yeah.
It
wasn't fun.
They went all in with the squelching and the everything. It's not.
It's not good. And I think we talked about it enough because as we said at the end, Doug does get his dick bit off, and that's great and all, but there's more to it.
It's great.
It's not fun. So
yeah.
Let's do closing statements.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's just awful, man. It's incredibly. It's all low branch humor.
Yeah.
Yes, I laughed at times, but it wasn't. It wasn't genuine. It wasn't making me feel good. It was more like it was so absurdly stupid that I had to laugh at it. The one golden joke we already talked about, that was good. That there's something there. A good movie could do something with that and make it really hilarious. Yeah. But I can't give it more than a star. Like, I hated it. I hated this experience. The only good thing was being able to play a video game with you and then playing a board game afterwards with you and your wife. Like, that was the only good thing about the experience.
Great, that part, yeah. I did enjoy it. So, yeah, I agree with you. It was not very good.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy your company, so thanks for coming and watching.
Thank you. We got to watch 4 dogs piss on each other. Did we mention that the dogs piss on each other? There's a whole scene of them pissing on each other.
Yeah. It's great. So, yeah, I give it a half a face, despite the laughs, and there are some pretty good bits. I think there just was so much more that they could have done that wasn't, like, literal slipping and shit, you know?
Yeah. That's bad humor.
Yeah.
We don't like that.
We don't like it.
And you could argue it's like, because one of my issues with Dr. Dolittle, a long time ago when I used to write my reviews and post them online, I wrote a review for Dr. Dolittle, the new one with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, right.
And I mentioned how it pissed me off because it's stupid and it's an awful movie. And there's so many fart jokes and poopy jokes and everything. And, some random stranger on the internet commented on there. And I'm okay with critiquing critics. Like, that's what we're here for. Come at us with your complaints. I don't care. Like, I want to hear them. But it was funny because that person's like, you do realize this movie was made for kids. And I had to be like, oh, yeah, I guess, it is fart jokes. It is for kids. All right, random stranger on the internet, you are correct. Like, yes, that it is a poopy joke for kids. Yeah. Like, I should concede that it's not that awful of a movie just because it reached for the low fruits. This is rated R.
Yeah,
Strays is rated R. It ain't made for the kids. It's just bad humor.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
But I got something a retort for this person, and I think you're probably being the bigger person to admit that. That's fine. But
thank you.
A retort to them is that okay, but a lot of people used to think that we shouldn't be teaching our kids that stuff is funny because it's gross.
Agreed. And even as a kid, I didn't find that kind of stuff funny. Like my family is a very gassy family.
I'm a very gassy person, and I will say that I have laughed at a good fart.
And I have too. I definitely have. And my family definitely enjoys their good fart jokes. And a fart joke can go, above and beyond.
Bad.
Lighthouse, the movie The Lighthouse with directed by Robert Eggers, has one of the best fart jokes to this day. It's great. That's how you do fart jokes. There's ways to do it.
They need to be sparing.
Strays loses. Beethoven wins.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And that's the show. Good night. No.
That's the show. Choose classical over modern day. Yeah. We don't know how to do it. They knew how to do it back in the old days.
Thank you, John.
Back in Beethoven's time. You mean this movie wasn't written by Ludwig von Beethoven? I thought it was a biopic.
It was a biopic. I love that dog that can play the piano.
I always thought the dog created all them operas and sonatas and stuff.
Yeah.
Sonatas.
Yeah. I think he did one opera.
He did sonatas, right?
He did sonatas, yes.
Sonatas?
Sonatas.
Sonatas?
No, sonatas.
Canadas?
No! Okay.
I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh. Thank you for the torture, Mom. Love you.
And I am this great... No, you're the Green Traveler. God damn it. Why do I always want to do that? Yes. I am the Faceless Leon. And thank you, Delma, for supporting us. And thank you for all our patrons' support. And, if you want to have a say, we'll see you down at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Thank you so much for listening. Safe travels, and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.